So you have an idea about ERP concept?
Not really. I'm very new to
Okay,
all this.
sure. Okay. So SAP, which is an ERP package, okay, or ERP software. Okay. So SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. This is the amplification for the word SAP. Okay. I told you that SAP, which is a ERP software. So by having ERP software, see, in the organization we have the following departments, right? Normally.
Okay.
So by having ERP concept or software, we can easily integrate all departments so that there is a free flow of information between the departments. Okay. Whereas in case of non-ERP environment, it won't happen because they are using different softwares of different companies. We cannot integrate different softwares of different companies. This is the main difference between ERP and non-ERP. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So along with ERP products, along with SAP products, we have number of ERP products. Some of them, Oracle, BAN, PeopleSoft, we have number of ERP products. If you take Oracle, which is specialized in the department of finance, okay. If you take BAN, which is specialized in the department of production. If you take PeopleSoft, which is specialized in the department of only in HR. Whereas if you take SAP, which is specialized in the all departments of the organization, and the level of integration we have with the SAP, which is also high when we compare with the other ERP products. Okay, so because of these two reasons, SAP becomes world number one ERP product, and it is almost having 48% of share in the international market. So that is the reason we have a lot of employment opportunities in the SAP. Okay, and coming to this SAP product, it has developed by the SAP AG company in 1972. SAP AG. AG stands for AG. AG. Actually, in English, its meaning is combination limited. Okay, AG means limited. Suppose if we registered any business under German's Act, it has to add the word of AG at the end of its name. Actually, this SAP is German-based company. Okay, so and it headquarters are Waldorf in Germany. Okay, and coming to evaluation of product SAP. This SAP AG company has developed SAP product in 1972 with SAP R/2 suite. Okay, and in 1980s it has developed SAP R/2, and in 1990s it has developed SAP R/3. And this R/1 and R/2, these are totally outdated. Okay, so now we are using SAP R/3 suite. So the present version of SAP R/3 suite is ECC 6.0. Okay, and what is R/3 suite? What is suite? Suite, which means in English, this combination of objects. Whereas with reference to SAP, which is combination of softwares. Because within the SAP we have number of softwares to manage the each department. Okay, so that is the reason it has incorporated with the word suite. Okay, next, hello,
Yeah.
I
Go
are
ahead.
there. Okay, so next or refers to real-time data processing. What is real-time data processing? See, wherever you go, now we have the concept of real-time data processing, which means, suppose if you take ATM, if you withdraw any amount from the ATM, within the counting of your amount, you will get the updated statement, right? So this is because of real-time data processing. Okay, so as SAP also using this concept, So it is incorporated with the word on. So that is the reason, because of this real-time data processing, whenever we update any information in one department, the relevant departments are also updated instantly. For example, if you make any transaction in the MM module, okay, the system automatically update the FI module also. This is because of real-time data processing. Okay, so next three. Three refers to three-tier architecture. Okay, so what is three-tier architecture? Means three-tier architecture refers to what is the level of hardware requirements we need to work with the SAP. Not only SAP, to work on every ERP product, we need client-server technology. Client-server technology means clients are whereas small storage capacity and servers are large storage capacity. Okay, and under three-tier architecture, we have the following servers: database server and application server and client server. Okay. What is database server? Database server, which is a server, here we store the all transaction which is incurred and posted by the client. It will be stored in the database. Okay. So where there is a database, there we have question of who manages the database. As we are in functional side, we don't aware of any managing database. So there some professionals are available to manage the database. Okay, and this is about database server. And coming to second server, which is the application server. Here we store the SAP programming logic code, which is necessary to process the transactions of the client. Here we have three application servers: application 1, 2, 3. Why we have to have optimum number of application servers? Suppose if you have only one application server 1, so what will happen? Everyone in the client place, they will work on the only application server 1, so that the processing load will be very high on that particular application server 1. So it will take time to get the data. We will waste our time. Okay, so that is the reason it is better to have optimum number of application servers. How many application server? Which depends on the capacity of the organization. Okay, and next, the third server is client server. Okay, so the client server, which is nothing but the desktops or laptops which can be used by the end user in the client place. They will access the application servers to enter the transactions of the company. All these clients together we can call it as client server. Okay, so as it is having three servers, it named as three-tier architecture. And the main advantage of three-tier architecture is we can increase or decrease any layer without disturbing the other one. Say for example, in the organization today we recruit 5 employees. We gave them 5 desktops. So in this case we can accommodate them either application server 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, so again we need not increase any application server again for those people. This is the advantage of three-tier architecture. Whereas in case of two-tier architecture, I told you that. So we have R by 1, R by 2, R by 3. In case of R by 2 suit, the database and application will be stored in the one server and client will be stored in the one server. So that is the reason it named as two-tier architecture. So in case of one-tier architecture, the database, application and client will be stored in the one server. So I told you that R by 2 and R by 1, these are totally outdated. Now we are using R by 3 suitor. Okay, understood?
Yeah.
Any doubts regarding this?
No.
Okay. So next, what are the models we have in SAP R by 3? We have functional model and we have technical models. In the technical model, we have ABAP, BASIS, and we have number of technical models in SAP. If you won't learn any of this technical model, you should have some programming knowledge or some any networking knowledge. Okay, suppose if you won't learn any of this functional module, okay, which is enough if you have any academic background related to this topic, which is enough. Or if you have any experience related to that department, that is also enough. Here, under functional module, we have number of modules like FICO, MM, SD. And here, each module itself fully developed software, which means if you want to manage the MM department, you can go to MM module. If you want to manage the HR department, okay, so you can go to HR module. So like this, for each department, we have a separate software in the SAP. And all these softwares are developed by only one, which is SAP. So that is the reason we can easily integrate all softwares of departments. Can easily integrate all department softwares easily. Whereas in case of non-ERP environment, it won't happen. Okay. Suppose if you learn any of this functional model, you will get job as functional consultant. If you learn any of this technical model, you will get job as technical consultant. What is consultant? So with reference to SAP, we have two roles. Okay, one is consultant, one is end user. I'll give one example regarding this. Okay, so Penner, okay, Penner is one of this. Okay, Samsung company is there, and this Samsung company, it wants to implement the SAP in its organization. So it approached the Wipro people. Okay, so here the Wipro people implement the SAP into the Samsung place. So here Samsung is the client. Here Wipro is the consulting company. Okay, so as a consultant, we work for Wipro. Okay, so the people who are in the Samsung are the end users. Okay,
Okay.
understood? So we are the consultant, we work in the consulting company. Okay, so we implement the, as a consultant, we implement the SAP to the Samsung company. Okay, after develop the SAP project, in the client place, the end user, they will use the SAP product. Okay, so now as a consultant, we do the configuration. I mean, we do the settings to the Samsung people. Okay. So if you learn any of this function model, you will get job as functional consultant. Okay, you do the configuration to the client place. Okay. So next, ASAP methodology. What is ASAP methodology? Which is very important to discuss. ASAP methodology is accelerated SAP methodology. See, implementation of SAP project easy to discuss, but it involves a lot of complexity and cost also. Hence, everything should be properly planned and documented. So this document, which is called ASAP methodology. So while preparing this ASAP methodology, we have the following phases. We have to execute them one by one. So first, project preparation. In this phase, here we have to define that what is the project resources, what is the project budget, what is the human resources we need. So everything we have to define in the project preparation phase. Okay, so and all these activities should be approved in the kickoff meeting. Kickoff meeting means which is the starting point of implementation of SAP project. Okay, and next we have business blueprint. Okay, so in the business blueprint we have to prepare two documents, like as is document and to be document. As is document, which is prepared by the core team members. Core team members are, these are nothing but they are from the client place who have thorough knowledge on the existing business process of the client. So, as is document which is prepared by the core team members. So, they will define that what is the existing business process of the client, what are the problems they are facing in the client place, so what they want from the new SAP environments. Everything they will define in the as is document which is by the core team members. Okay, so based on as is document, as a consultant, we have to prepare the to be document. To be document means what is the client requirements in the new SAP environment, what we have to do in the new R/3 system. So everything we have to prepare in the to be document, and we have to analyze the what are the reports they are following, what are the forms they are using, and how they are coming. So everything as a consultant we have to read. So read the reports. Okay, once business blueprint is over, then we go for realization phase. What is realization phase? Actually, realization phase we do the configuration, which means the actual configuration will start from the realization phase based on the business blueprint. In the realization phase, for the purpose of configuration, configuration is nothing but making settings. Okay, so for our configuration purpose, we have three servers: quality server, sorry, development server, quality server, and production server. Coming to development server, here we have three clients available: Golden client, Sandbox client, and development testing client. Okay, so first, according to the client's requirement, we do the configuration in the Golden client. Okay, so after that we go to the Sandbox client. Here we do the testing. Testing means whatever configuration we have done in the Golden client, we do testing with transaction data. Transaction data means we can make the posting, and with that posting we can check the our configuration whether we have done according to the specification or not. We have done the configuration according to the client's requirement or not. We have to test, and after that we have to test some. We have to perform some testings in the development testing client. So like functional testing and some technical testings we will do here. So what are testing we will do, I'll explain it later. Okay, so once everything is fine here, then all configurations it will be moved to the quality server. Okay, so here in the quality server again we have two clients, client 1 and client 2. Okay, client 1 here, if necessary, core team members they will come from the client place and they will do testing if necessary. The requirement will be differ from one client to another client. Some core team members they will come and they will do test, and some people they won't come. And here also we do testing as a concept. Okay, and client 2. This client 2 we use for giving end user to give for end user programming training. We can use this client 2. Okay, and okay, see if everything is fine here, then again it will be configuration. It will be moved to the production server. So production server, which is nothing but this is the server which is the client place. Here the end user he will make the posting in the production server, which means the end user will enter the day-to-day transactions on the client place. Okay, so this is the way we do the configuration. Actually, for the purpose of configuration, some companies they will create only development server and production server. This quality server which is optional. Okay, and how we do how we transport transport the configuration from one server to another server is through transport request, which means this transport request it will be created by the basis consultant. So he will take care of that transport request. So this transport request we can forward the configuration from one server to another server. So this is the way we do the configuration in the realization phase. And after that we have final preparation phase. Final preparation means here we have to conduct some seminars, workshops to give training to the end user, which means we have to train them how to log on SAP, how to use the SAP screens, how to make the posting, how you can see the letter. So everything we have to give them training. And here we have to define some cutover activities, which means we should ensure that whether all configuration have been moved to the production server or not. Okay, and we should ensure whether proper authorization has been given to the end user or not into the production server. And no end user should make the posting till go live of project. So these are the activities we should define in the final preparation phase. Next, after that we have go live and support. What is go live and support? So go live means which is the starting point, which is the date from which date the end user is ready to use the SAP in the client place. And after that we have support. Support means after implementing SAP project as a consultant we have to give them support. How long we have to give them support, which depends on the client's requirement. It depends on the agreement between the clients and consulting company. Sometimes the client will give supporting project to the same implementing company, or he will give supporting project to the other consulting company. Okay. So, any doubts regarding this?
No.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, any doubts?
Hello? No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, next we can discuss some real terms we can use in the live environment. So, what is tracking system? Tracking system means handling the tickets, which is called tracking system. What is tickets? See, once we implement the SAP project in the client place, while the end user making posting on the server, he will get some issues or errors. These errors we can call as tickets in the SAP. And these tickets we can categorize as high, medium, low. Based on the category, as a consultant, we have to support them. Suppose in case of high prioritized tickets, if without solving those issues, the production server cannot run, which means the production runner stop. Okay. So in case of medium tickets, it is difficult to run the production server if we don't solve the issues. In case of low tickets, even the issue is there, we can manage the production server. Okay, so based on the tickets, we have to solve those issues. Okay, so next, what is difference between configuration and customization? So configuration in general, we know that making settings, which means developing SAP project or making the configuration settings according to the client's requirement, which is configuration. What is customization? Suppose if the client requirements does not match with the SAP system. So in this case, we have to develop the programs in the SAP system. Which means the adapter, he will develop the programs in the SAP system. Say for example, if client requires any report that is not available in the SAP system. So in this case, we have to develop the programs. The ABAPer will develop the programs. Okay, but the ABAPer, he doesn't know functionality of the client place. So in this case, as a functional consultant, we have to support him in providing the functionality of the client place. Okay, so customization is that, which means modifying the SAP system according to the client's requirement. Okay, understood?
Okay.
So next, what is end-to-end implementation? See, I discussed ASAP methodology. We have the 5 phases. Suppose if you implement the SAP project in the 5 phases, that is called end-to-end implementation, which means from first phase to the last phase. That is end-to-end implementation. Whereas in case of rollout project, it comes into picture where we have already done the SAP project. Say for example, we develop the SAP, we implement the SAP in one client place. Okay, and this company is going to purchase one more company. Okay, so in this case, now for the second company, we do the rollout project, which means what are the common requirements are there from the first company to second company. First we copy from first company to the second company, and after that, if and we do the necessary settings for the second company according to the requirements. This is rollout project. Okay, and what is Big Bang implementation? Suppose if we implement the SAP project in the client place, all modules like FICO, SD, MM, HR, and project system. So everything, if you want to implement the SAP in all modules, that is called Big Bang implementation. Which means implementing SAP in all modules in the client place. Whereas phased implementation, which means suppose now we implement the SAP for only few modules. After that, we are going to implement for the remaining modules, which is phased implementation. Okay. So next, what is upgrade project?
Hello?
Upgrade project means moving from old version to the new version, which is
Okay.
upgrade project. Okay. Any doubts regarding this?
No, that's
Okay. So next, I told you that we have to perform some testings in the development side. Integration testing. So here integration testing means here we have to, it will be done by the functional consultant only. So here we have to ensure that whether the client business process is properly working or not with the another business process. Which means, for example, suppose if any entries we made in the MM module, the system updating the FI module or not. Okay, so this we have to ensure, which means checking the FI model with the MM model and FI model with the SD model. So you have to cross check the models. This is called integration testing. Whereas functional testing means here we have to ensure whether all we have to whether we have done the configuration according to the specification or not. Which means we have to do the testing like individual module wise, like testing on only FI, testing on only MM, testing on only SD. Whereas in case of integration testing means cross checking FI with MM, MM with SD, that is cross checking. Here individual wise testing. Okay, and unit testing. This testing it will be done by the programmers. So here they have to ensure that whether all programs are properly working or not for each and every module. So they have to perform this testing. So what is regression testing? Regression testing means suppose if the ABAPer he has developed any programs or code, that code should not affect the existing business process of the client. That he has to ensure that here. This is called regression testing. So this is the way we do the testing. This integration functional testing it will be done by the functional consultant and these two are done by the programmers. Okay. So what are tables? Tables means say whatever data we store in the SAP system that will be stored in the back end in the form of tables in the SAP. Okay. And coming to how we create the project in the SAP. What is our organizational structure? in the FI model. Okay. See, in general, in other than SAP, in general, the organization structure is first we have group. Under group, we have companies. Under that, we have units. Units means business areas or locations. Whereas, in case of SAP, we can create group as companies. Okay. And these companies, we can create it as company codes. Okay. And these units, we can create it as segments. Okay. Say, for example, I create one Pennar group. And this Pennar group having two products. It is into mills and it is into industries. So these two products I can create it as company codes. And this company code one, which is having locations in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and it is having location. The second company code is having locations in Hyderabad, Bangalore. So these locations I can create it as segments. Okay, coming to again this first company code having locations in Hyderabad, Bangalore. Okay, in Hyderabad location, it is going to produce products wool and silk. And again in Bangalore location, it is going to produce wool and silk. And coming to second company code. This company code is having location in Hyderabad, Bangalore. In Hyderabad, it is going to produce product steel and cement. And in Bangalore also steel and cement. So all these products we can create it as profit centers. So that what will happen by creation of profit center for each product price, we can see the profitability at any time. And at the time of creation of profit centers, we have to assign the segments so that whenever you make the posting to the profit centers, system automatically update the segments also. Okay, so this is the FI organization structure. And coming to CO, in CO module, the organization structure is we have controlling area and we have cost centers under controlling area. Cost centers are nothing but departments, which may be any finance department or production department or any service department. So those departments we can create it as cost centers, and all these cost centers we can create under controlling area. So that if you want to see all cost centers data, we can see at controlling area level. Okay, and while creation of cost centers, we have to assign the profit centers. This we have created in the FI. So we have to create the profit centers into the cost centers. So that whenever you make any posting to the cost centers, through these profit centers, already we assigned into the cost centers. Through these profit centers, system will update the FI model. Because this we already created in the FI model. Okay, so this is the link between FI to CO. Okay, any doubts?
No.
Okay, so next, MM and SD integration. Actually, if in our organization MM and SD FI is implemented, then we do the integration FI with MM and FI with SD. So here, as a functional consultant, or we have to create some GL accounts, which is required by the MM people and SD consultants. So these GL accounts we do assign for the purpose of automatic posting. By doing integration of FI and MM and FI and SD, if any movements, if any transaction happens in the MM or SD, and those transaction has any account affectable, system automatically posts the entries in the FI. This is because of integration. Okay, so that apart from FICO, I can discuss the MM and SD integration also. Okay, and coming to our course content, in the financial accounting, I am going to cover, this is summary of sports. Okay, So GL model, accounts payable, accounts receivables, and asset account. In the CO model, we have a cost element, cost center, internal orders, and profitability analysis. And we have some other topics, integration of FI with MM, FI with SD, and some closing procedure, and some master accounting data we can discuss. So, okay. So, any requirements apart from this, like any doubts or
Uh,
anything?
no, I was wondering what all is covered under this course.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all do the support certification, and then do you all do marketing, or I
So,
don't know what is all covered?
I mean, you are into MBA marketing,
No, finance.
finance only. Okay. So, what you are asking me? Certification.
Right.
So, you won't go for certification.
Yes.
So, it would be like 6 to 5 lakhs if you don't have any experience in the real time. So, it would be cost like 5 to 6 lakhs.
Okay.
Why you won't go for certification?
Just wondering, because I would get better knowledge in, when if I do certification, then my resume value will be